Steve Busby, PE consultant with the PE and Sports Hub, with some top tips on whether you should use a scheme or not. First top tip is that if you are going to choose a scheme, make sure that the scheme teaches the children the requisite knowledge that they need. In other words, the rules, the strategies and the tactics. Make sure that it's broad, so it covers the whole of the national curriculum, and it's also balanced, so there's a good and equal share of the different areas. So for example, within games, we have target games, strike and field, net, wall and invasion games. So we need a nice balance within our curriculum. And thirdly, make sure that it promotes healthy participation, so the children are developing holistically. My next top tip would be that make sure you have some supplementary materials if you're working from a platform which evidence that your scheme is progressive and it does all of those other things that I've just talked about. So it shows clearly how the children's knowledge is developing, it shows clearly what skills they're developing and how they progress through the primary school, and it shows how their understanding of living a healthy lifestyle and taking part in a healthy way is also developing. My next top tip would be whatever scheme you decide on, try and make it as visual as possible. Teachers have limited amount of spare time, so if there are diagrams or videos which supplement any narrative, have a look at those closely, trial it along with your staff and see if they're valuable, because seeing things in action is very much easier to then put into practice yourself than it is just to read from a narrative. Next one, be clear with your staff once you do choose a scheme, if you do choose one, that they're not just going to teach it verbatim. No person who writes a scheme of work really knows what's going to be happening in lesson 4 or lesson 6. What they can do is provide progressive outcomes and progressive activities, but it still needs adapting to the context of your school, the environment of your school, the ability of your school, the emerging needs within your class, etc, etc. So make it clear to your staff that they can pull ideas from the scheme, but they have to make it meet the needs of their children. And lastly, my final top tip, if you are going to get a scheme, is make sure it's available through different platforms. We're all at different levels in terms of technology. Some people might want something through iOS, some people might want something through the computer, some people might enjoy still having hard copy format. So try and look for a scheme that addresses the levels of technology you have among your staff team.